of the biggest stages in poker.
From the Lodge Mahal in beautiful Austin, Texas, welcome.
And I'm faced with the toughest decision of my career.
Jared pounced on the opportunity to put Sam in a spot. Truly disgusting.
If I make this call and I'm right, I'll be up over $10,000.
Sam Queso just taking his time to think it over.
But if I call and I'm wrong, I'll be headed towards the biggest loss of my entire life. The nerves have kicked in. Here's the situation. For the past 3 months, I've played nothing but 1-2 and 1-3, where the max buy-in is $300 to $1,000 at most. Today, I'm playing a 5-10-25 game. I'm taking a shot. Now, I brought $10,000 with me, but $5,000 of this is not mine. I sold half my action just to mitigate the risk, but the other $5,000 is mine. I'm putting up $5,000 of my own money. It's a lot of money. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is uncomfortable, but I wanna play higher stake games like this consistently, and the only way to do that is to become a better player and grow. And the only way to do that is to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And that's what I'm doing today.
From the Lodge Mahal in beautiful Austin, Texas, welcome.
Got to talking with these guys before the show. It should be a good one. A lot of interesting information.
The initial buy-in for this game is $2,000, but after that, you can match the biggest stack at the table. And what I didn't know at the time was that this game was gonna get big quick. Within the first 3 hands, there's 2 all-ins, and people start adding on right away. We play 7 hands before everyone agrees to play the Nick game for $500. This means the last player to win a hand has to pay out $500 to the table. That's 25% of my stack. A few people have already lost their nit button before I look down at King Jack in the cutoff. I 3-bet to $650. The player to my left cold calls. The initial raiser folds. We're heads up. I'm immediately relieved when I see a jack right in the window, but it's followed by an ace. I check, and he snap checks it back. Now I'm feeling really good about my hand. The turn is a queen. I think this guy's gonna have a lot of pocket pairs that are gonna be forced to fold to just about any size bet. I bet $325. He pretty quickly makes the call. I'd really like to see a jack or a 10 here on the river, but that's not what we get. I check, and he snap checks it back. I'm certain we're beat, until he flips over the exact same hand. Not what I was expecting at all. Since we chopped this pot, we both keep our nit buttons. For the next 30 minutes, I can't win a hand. My stack bleeds all the way down to under $1,000. 3 of us still have our nit buttons when I look down at ace-8 and the $50 straddle. There's a race from the button to 125, and the player to my right calls. I don't have much of a decision here. I'm all in. Thankfully, they both fold, and I get rid of my nit button. But now the issue is, I only have a $1,200 stack. There's already a stack of over $12,000. The smart thing to do would be to add on, but I don't. Instead, I remain the short stack at the table. Not off to the hottest start. Down like $800, which isn't much for this game, but this game got big quick. It is basically gonna be 5-10, 25-50 the entire game, and the net game's gonna be on for $500 if you lose. So game's playing big already. There's $8,000 and $9,000 stacks, and I have $1,200. Might need to add on. As soon as the first nit game ends, we run it back. Once again, only a few players have their nit buttons, and I'm one of them. I look down at 6-5 of clubs in middle position and open to 150. I get 4 callers, and then the $50 straddle 3-bets to 1,000. There's already over 1,700 in the middle, and I only have 800 left in my stack. I'm all in. 2 other players call behind me. I have an opportunity to quadruple up. But those dreams are quickly shattered. DQ goes all in, the other players fold, and I have a 4% chance to win this hand. That doesn't happen. 1 hour into the stream, and I'm down $2,000. So I rebuy for $3,000. The very next hand, I'm in the $50 straddle with ace king. I 3-bet to $850, but before I can even get my chips in the middle, CryptoMax announces all in. I obviously snap call, and we're in amazing shape. He has ace queen. 75% of the time, I'm gonna win this hand. All I need to do is hold, and I'll be up $1,000, and I'll get rid of my nit button.
Pretty dry board. Some opportunities available. And how about an ace? Pretty much dead. CryptoMax is to a queen. Or yeah, that's gonna do it.
I get a much needed double up. My stack's over $6,000 now, and I'm about to put it all at risk. 20 minutes after doubling up, I pick up ace-10 in the small blind. There's a race from the cutoff to $300, and the player to my right calls. They both have their nit buttons, and so do I. This means we're all going to be playing really wide, and there's a good chance I have the best hand at the moment. I 3-bet to $1,250. It folds back around to the cutoff, and he folds. If the button folds as well, I'll take down $600 of profit, and I'll lose my nit button. But it's not going to be that easy. The button makes the call. We're heads up. The flop comes all spades. I had the nut flush draw and a gut shot to Broadway. I c-bet for 800 and the button calls. The turn is no help. There's over 4,500 in the middle and I have 3,700 in my stack. At best, the button's gonna have a hand like King Jack, but more than likely, I think he's gonna have a single pair holding that probably has to let it go if I apply max pressure. And that's what I do.
I think Sam's just got to go for it here. There it is.
I go all in for $3,700, and at the moment, all I have is ace high. If my opponent makes this call, I'm most likely going to be behind. He folds. My stack is up over $8,000 now, but once again, every dollar is about to be at risk. 45 minutes go by before I pick up ace king. The $50 straddle is on, and I open to 150. Both blinds call. So do both of the straddlers. We go 5 ways to a flop. It comes 10 high with 2 hearts. Action checks through on the flop. The turn is a queen of hearts. Action checks all the way to me again. I consider taking a stab, but with so many other players still in the hand, I decide to check. The river is a jack of diamonds, improving me to Broadway. I'm expecting one of these 4 players to bet here on the river, but for a third time, action checks to me. I have to go for value here. I want one of these guys to think I'm trying to steal this pot and potentially call me light. I overbet the pot for $1,200. One by one, they all fold until it gets to the player to my right. He does something I wasn't expecting.
All in.
He goes all in and he covers me. I'm smiling because I'm in disbelief. I have a really strong hand, but at this point, all it is a bluff catcher.
Don't be a bluff.
It's over $6,500 for me to call, and if I call and I'm wrong, I'll be in the hole $5,000 with a lot of poker left to play. But if I call and I'm right, I'll be up over $10,000. My mind is going back and forth between calling and folding, but then I start to replay the hand. He checked on the turn when the flush got there and checked again on the river with only me to act behind. Would he really do this with the flush? It just doesn't make sense to me. I didn't decide to take a shot just to get put in a huge spot and go against my gut.
Really don't think you check a flush twice.
Sam Queso just taking his time to think it over. Makes the call!
I make the call and he shows ace deuce with the ace of hearts for a stone cold bluff. I win a $16,000 pot and I'm up over $11,000 now. Literally the very next hand, I get put in another tough spot. There's a raise to 200 from the button and 2 calls. I'm in the $50 straddle with king 6 of hearts. I throw in an additional $150. One other player behind me calls as well, so once again, we're going 5 ways to a flop. It comes king high, giving me top pair. Action checks through on the flop. The turn is another king, but it also brings in the flush. The big blind bets $700, and I'm the only caller. We're heads up to a river, and it comes an offsuit 8. Now the big blind slows down and checks. I don't think he's got much when he checks here on the river, so I decide to bet small, hoping he'll go crazy and potentially raise me. I bet $800. He goes into the tank, and then he reaches for raising chips and raises to $4,200. I literally bet small with plans to call if he raised, but in all honesty, the money was getting to me. I'm used to playing low stakes, where a raise like this would be $400, not $4,000. I just won one of the biggest pots of my life. If I call and I lose, I'll lose over half the profit I just made.
Just a brutal game we play here. Just made a very tough call. Very next hand, you're put in yet another spot.
But I just don't believe him.
Makes the call! Back-to-back bluff catches for Sam Queso. His confidence is up, folks. Don't try bluffing him right now.
I win a $10,000 pot right after I just won a $16,000 pot. I'm up $17,000 now.
All right, quick update. Gosh, I have a stack of over $20,000. A little speechless right now, but now we're playing 7-handed. Stacks are deep. I'm up $15,000 right now. A double up would be stupid. A double up right now would be insane. I don't really have much to say. Ace King hand was insane. King 6 hand was crazy. I gotta get back in there.
The stream ends in another 2 hours. If I can remain disciplined and keep my foot on the gas, I might end up booking one of the biggest wins of my entire life. As soon as we start a new Nick game, I get dealt Jack 10 of hearts. There's a raise of 200 from the cutoff, and the button is the only caller. I could just flat with a hand that typically flops really well, but I'm up big, and I don't want to take the passive route. I 3-bet to $850. One by one, they both fold. I pick up nearly $500 of profit without even having to see a flop. 4 hands later, I get dealt pocket jacks. Open in late position and get called by the button and the player to my right. The flop is unreal. We have them both drawn dead. The player first to act checks. I have this hand locked up and need someone to catch a piece of this board or start bluffing. I check as well. The button does not. He bets $400, nearly a pot-sized bet. I'm doing my absolute best not to give away any tells. I basically have the best possible hand in this spot, and this guy is betting into me. There's no reason to raise. The player to my right folds, and I just call. The turn is a queen. I check again, and once again, he bets. This time for $800. I consider raising to start building this pot even more, but I just call with plans to try something on the river. The river is an 8. Now I don't want to risk this checking through, but leading out is going to look super strong unless I go really small and make him think I'm trying to get to a cheap showdown. I start counting out black chips, planning to bet around 600. But before I can even get my chips in the middle, he folds. I still pick up over $1,500 of profit that hand, and now my stack has reached $24,000 and there's still an hour left in the stream. I end up losing a few small pots before this happens. There's a raise from the cutoff to 75. The button and small blind both call. There's a new player on my right, and he 3-bets to 425 from the big blind. I'm in the $25 straddle, and I look down at Jack 10 of diamonds. Here's what's going through my head. We all have our nit buttons. The player in the cutoff is going to be opening really wide, which means the big blind can be 3-betting fairly light in this spot. So for those reasons, I decide to 4-bet. I make it $12.50. Just like earlier when I raised with Jack 10, one by one, they all fold. Once again, I make hundreds of dollars of profit without having to see a flop. Now at this point, we're getting close to the end of the stream, but I get involved in one last hand. The player to my right opens to 150. I'm on the button and look down at ace queen. This is a perfect spot to raise. I 3-bet to $500. Action folds back around to the initial raiser, and he makes the call. We're going heads up to a flop. It comes jack high, and my opponent checks it over to me. I bet $700, and this is where the hand gets crazy. My opponent decides to fold. And shortly after that hand, the stream comes to an end, and the final results are just unbelievable.
That went insanely good. Come on! I'm gonna get straight to the results. I bought in for a total of $5,000. Was down 2K at one point. Cashed out for all of this. $24,000. I won $19,000. I won a Honda Civic in 5 hours. That's just stupid. Man, shout out to you guys, to everybody who watches these videos. If you guys didn't watch these videos, I wouldn't be playing in streams like this. It just wouldn't happen. So thank you. Now, the serious and real question is, do I continue to play high stakes and take some bigger shots and play this stream again? Or do I go back to the 1-3 and 2-5 streets where I probably belong? Comment below.